Hello, everybody. I'm Mac Alvino joining you today on Pro Football Talk. To my right, we have Franklin Markel, and to my left, Ethan Franklin. My first question today goes to Franklin Markel. Frank, how do you like the Giants taking Daniel Jones over Dwayne Haskins?
At the time, I kind of disagreed with the pick. I was kind of nervous the Giants would take Daniel Jones at 6, especially considering he would have been there, later in the first round. I think at the 22nd pick, he probably would have still been there. If they took Daniel Jones at 22, I feel like I would have been fine with that. I think Daniel Jones is a serviceable quarterback. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. But I think taking him at 6 is where I kind of get frustrated. And knowing Haskins was on the board at 6, I think Haskins is going to be a better quarterback. And the Giants have a lot of needs. They could have used a really good skill player at number 6. There were a lot of players available. Josh Allen was still available. So I think they reached, but we'll see. Time will tell with these things.
That's very true. Ethan, who is the best quarterback coming out of this draft?
I think this is obviously a pretty weak quarterback year, because I don't really like any of them, to be completely honest. I think Haskins, there's obviously a lot of questions about not only his mobility, but he's playing in such a stacked offense, and he really wasn't carrying them. He really wasn't the main driving force in those teams. Murray has question marks about his transition. Obviously, he was so dominant in college, but it's a very different game, and obviously Jones was not as polished. And Drew Lock, obviously, there's a lot of question marks about him. But out of all of them, I guess I would have to say Kyler Murray, because I think he has a lot of high risk but high reward potential there, because obviously there's not many quarterbacks like him in the game today. But I think if he can transition and get to the NFL and play well, I think he's a steal for the Cardinals.
Okay, and one more big question. We'll go to Ethan first this time. The ever-wild NFC East never seems to have consistent champions. Ethan, who is the team to beat in the NFC East this year?
I think from a purely talent standpoint, I would have to say the Cowboys, but I don't think they'll finish first. They have a really tough schedule this year, obviously coming off of first place in the NFC East last year. They're playing a first-place schedule. They got a lot of hard away games. So I don't think they'll finish first, but I definitely think they have the talent to do so. I think the Eagles will end up finishing first in the division, and obviously come playoff time, it's a mad scramble.
Frank, is Ethan right?
I agree with the first thing he said, that the Cowboys have the most talented roster, but then I disagree. I think the Cowboys will win the division. I think this division will end up sending 2 teams to the playoffs. I think the Eagles will make it as a wild card. It's a real toss-up division. Every team but the Giants really has a chance to win the division. Even if the Giants pull it off, it wouldn't be that surprising. But it's going to be a competitive division. It'll be fun to follow this year.
Well, it was just two years ago that 6-7 going into Week 15 was good enough to tie you for first place in that division. Sadly, that's all the time we have today for Pro Football Talk. I'm Mac Alvino alongside with Ethan Franklin and Franklin Markel. Thank you.